Yes.
Okay, I gotta make sure that I get that.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, it's stuck. And later on YouTube, Matt will take care of everything else. And then you can see yourself and make fun of me. Because I'm always like a buddy joke. Speaking of butts, no. Matt, get ready to get your cheeks cut. So, anyways, all right, here we go. What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Lemonade Podcast. I'm your host, Frank. Here at the Lemonade Podcast, we go by the saying, when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade, and we pour it onto the world. With that, we hope to encourage, inspire, and empower any of you listening and tuning in. Not only that, our guests are themselves, and today's guest is Mac. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. It's a little warm today, though people might see this when the weather's a little cooler. So kudos to them.
That to do. Never happy.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
Yeah, so we've rescheduled this, like 3 times now?
Maybe. Third time's the charm.
Two, 3 times. But finally came down here, so.
No. I appreciate it. I know you've come a long way. Physically, right? Yeah. It's a bit of a drive. So I appreciate that. Appreciate making the time, coming down here. And we're excited to have you on and hear your story. You know, like I said in the beginning or before this, we talked about how it's just a conversation, you know, whatever it is that you want to share, it's on you. And anything that you want to plug, whether it's your business, a friend, your partner, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? I say it because she's out there. Yeah. Say hi. Anything as far as when it comes to that, you can do so. I say business because I know we spoke about some of that before through DMs and whatnot. I know you have a business, right? And we can get into that. I hope we do because
cool.
One of the reasons why I have the podcast is to be able to plug people. One of those people, and this is not a shameless plug or anything like that, but no, one of those people is my niece who makes our candles, who the podcast is sponsored by, Amso Essentials. So if anybody's out there and need candles, they smell good. You said
One of the first things I noticed when I sat down.
There you go.
So I'm like, there you go.
It wasn't me. It was smelling candle. Yeah. There we go. So no, it smells really good. Plus we got one burning. So
That's probably what I smelled like.
Yeah. So thank you again for coming through and making the trek all the way. It's a pleasure. Yeah. So real quick, getting into what you do, just we can get into that. So
Right.
you are a rope bondage artist.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So what does that entail?
So what that entails is essentially you take the consenting adults,
Yeah.
okay, and you're doing a photo shoot based on traditional Japanese style bondage,
Okay.
known as shibari or kimbaku, depending on, what style you're doing it in.
Got it. Okay.
So it's mostly about there's geometric lines, real harsh angles and stuff that are combined with a more typically feminine or organic curves of the body.
Okay.
And those contrasts are kind of the attraction.
No, you get the first thing I told you. No, I'm just kidding.
The first thing
you can take that one.
Yeah. Strike one.
All right. All right. 2 more.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not responsible for that. Matt's the one that'll kick you off. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We haven't had one yet, but hey, first time for everything. You know what I'm saying? No, okay, sorry. So, how long have you been doing it?
That's kind of hard to say. I was first exposed to it years and years ago. You see it online or what have you. But I'm gonna say it's about 2008, 2009. Floating around the Pacific Ocean.
Nice.
On a big ship.
All right.
Leaving Hawaii and the ship breaks down in the middle.
This is a true story?
It's a true story.
Here we go.
So,
Ship. He likes ships. Matt, you're a ship.
he's a ship guy.
Yeah.
You know what an LHD is?
Yep.
Yeah, I was on an LHD and it sucker broke down.
Which one?
It was either the Boxer or the Bonhammer Shard. I want to say it was the Bonnie Day.
Okay.
Anyway, so it breaks down.
Maybe we should have that.
We'll look into it.
Did you shed a tear when you burned to the ground?
No. Those things were built way back in the 60s and 70s for someone who is 5'10", me at 6'4" and 290 business. I was a little big for that ship. So
ship or shit?
Ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both.
You got to duck under every bulkhead. Waiting line down in the.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. But then again, I wasn't on the ship to do work. I was just catching a ride.
Oh, okay.
But
this story gets more interesting.
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
back to the story. Engines break down, main failure. You don't have parks in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to turn that giant ship around and float back to Hawaii, it was easier to coast to Japan.
Oh, okay.
So they coast to Japan, they dock in Okinawa, and they dry dock this gigantic ship to fix it. And they're like, hey, we don't have enough food for you because we planned for this 90-day trip. So,
Bye.
yeah, there you go. You got shore leave, just be back by midnight every night.
Okay.
So, I'm 19 at the time.
All right.
Lost in the sauce in Shinjuku, Japan.
Got it.
Going mainland, doing whatever.
Yeah.
With whatever money I had in my pocket.
Okay.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So I started picking up odd jobs. Because a lot of the signage out there, you can find it in English.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I got a job at it's a photography studio.
Boom.
Real narrow, tall building. Each floor is set up differently. And it's move lights, move furniture.
Oh, right.
Just
Yeah.
be a big gringo. That's all you got to do is haul stuff around.
Yeah.
And it's about the third day I went back, and the entire studio had changed.
Whoa.
Everything was blacked out.
Oh.
There was like we were shooting bubblegum ads and just random stuff, advertisement stuff.
Yeah.
I come back and there's these beautiful pictures of this rope bondage and all these ladies everywhere.
You're like, whoa.
Giggling models running around in
Nice.
little robes.
Got it.
What am I into
Yeah.
now?
Oh,
I don't see much furniture.
There's
Okay.
no bubble gum here.
Right, but I also see beautiful silk rope laid out
Okay.
and all these pictures everywhere. So somebody had hired the studio, hired the photographer, had lights, hired the models, had their nice like woven silk rope there, put their pictures up, whole shebang, whole day long production, hadn't shown up.
Oh.
So somebody spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here, I'm still getting paid, I don't care.
Yeah.
So you're 19 years old,
Yep.
surrounded by beautiful women.
Yep.
You start talking to them.
Boom.
So between what little Japanese I knew, what little English they
okay.
did,
Yeah.
convinced one of them to sit down, like, hey, see what we can do.
Yeah.
So there I'm looking at one of these pictures, me and her in the picture, and I start kind of breaking it down, decoding it, just breaking it down to figure it out myself.
Right, yeah.
And I get about 90% of the way through the tie, and in bursts the dude who had actually rented the place.
Oh, right.
And he is pissed. A, because I'm touching his models,
Right.
which is, I know now, a no-no in Japan.
Right.
Big no-no.
Yeah.
I'm touching his silk rope, which is like
even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
And how dare you? Who is this random guy? He's coming in, but he's an Italian guy,
Forget about it.
and he was raised in Japan.
Okay.
So if you've ever been screamed at in Japanese with an Italian accent, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
And he didn't know who the hell I was because I'm just some dude, but I kind of stand out.
Man, the story's just
It gets weird. It gets weird.
No, I like it.
But he figures out that I speak English.
Okay.
Right? And he's like chewing me out, basically. Who are you? What are you doing here? I said, hey, the studio hired me, just said come back. Sorry I touched a girl, blah, blah, blah. You weren't here.
Yeah.
Didn't mean anything by it. It's like, well, who tied her? I did.
Yeah.
Where'd you learn that? That picture. It's like, that's one of my most famous pictures.
Yeah.
Been published everywhere.
I got you.
It's like, okay, I just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
And he took kind of like a breath and a pause, and he said, are you here for the next couple days? Yeah. Well, I want you to come back and be my assistant, because none of these guys speak English.
Boom.
Boom.
There you go.
So learn from him. Shall not be named.
Okay.
He's a world famous Shibari artist.
Okay.
But taught me a couple of things and gave me some of that nice real silk rope,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get back on the ship and float away.
There you go.
And promptly forget about it. It's just a skill you have in your back pocket.
Yeah.
I'm still young. Not the most charming individual.
Okay.
So
No.
That's not first date material,
It isn't.
With that, well,
It isn't.
maybe,
Ladies.
maybe nowadays.
Hey, it could be.
Maybe I found my people.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, but I was still an awkward kid, so it's not something I would talk about very often.
Okay.
And then flash forward, now I'm here in California,
Yeah.
early 2010s, and 50 Shades of Grey comes out.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There it is.
and that gets every housewife out there just frothing. And some friends of mine decided, oh, well, we saw that in the movie, we can do that. And hey. And I've told the story, and people were like, as soon as I mentioned 50 Shades of Grey, their eyes either light up or they do the. So.
Oh, the disappointment?
Disappointment because in the community there's some red flags in that story.
Okay,
there's some consent violations. It's
Hollywood
problematic for certain people.
I gotcha.
It's the first portrayal some people ever saw of rope
Bondage and
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
People think bondage, they think chains, they think
Yeah.
whips, they think all the hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
This was a little sexier, a little more sensual.
Yeah.
You can tie it up with a silk scarf, what have you.
Right.
Anyway, friends of mine decide, we're gonna do it. They try it. She winds up in the ER with some nerve damage.
Oh, damn.
She had 2 fingers didn't work too well for a little while.
Gotcha.
Pretty serious deal.
Yeah.
But they were still into it. They were still
Yeah.
desired it. And I had known the guy since high school.
Okay.
He knew I had experienced some of this stuff because first thing I did when I got back from Japan is, guess what I did?
Right.
I told everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You have to.
It was great.
Come back.
But they're like, can you teach me how to do that? So I was like, sure. So, pull that trick out of your back pocket, out of your toolbox, dig it out. Taught them a few things. They told their friends, who told their friends, and it kind of ballooned from there. And I went from just some random guy to being injected into this entire community I didn't even know existed. Here in San Diego, up in LA.
Yeah.
And made a bit of a name for myself.
Right.
Because I always focused on safety, on consent, on all that good trash.
Yeah.
Because people want to dive right into it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them.
And it looks pretty. It looks pretty.
It looks
It
pretty.
looks pretty.
It looks very pretty.
Yeah.
And people are threatened by the latex, the leather. People see some of those movies, like some crazy German dude's gonna come out and beat the crap out of you. It's like, okay.
What was that movie? Road Trip?
Euro
Trip.
Trip.
Yeah,
that's
kinda
exactly
like
what they think
with
of.
Xena.
It exists.
I was like, hey.
But that's if your thing. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but that's what people automatically
Go
assume
to that,
when they
yeah,
hear the
yeah.
word bondage.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right? So this is something that's a little softer, a little more sensual. But it's scary because someone can get flogged or paddled for hours. You're going to have a rough time sitting for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Rope can kill you in minutes.
Yep.
It can literally be super dangerous. So there's a whole different skill set to it.
Yep.
Some experiences through my life kind of led me to and intuitively picking it up.
Yes.
But I'm one of those guys who I don't think I'll ever learn everything. So there's always something to learn. There's always new experiences out there.
Yeah, there's definitely room for, I don't want to say improvement, but it's growth. Think about it. It's always
Definitely growth.
growing and evolution at the end of the day. That's one of the things that I've shared with people, especially this year. Through the podcast and friends, it's like, it's not a whole new year, new me. It's an evolution now. I'm evolved from last year to this year, even this year alone. But it's been great to be able to sit down with people and not only see them from the beginning, because like I said, the reason why I started the podcast and even just the Eliminate movement in general was to be able to bring people on, show them, showcase them, but also it's those people that just started. I'm not saying you just started, you know what I'm saying, but I'm a fan of what you do. You're in the community. When I met you, we were in the middle of it. Like I was shooting, you were doing your role thing, and it was like this collab without really knowing. But it was great to be there and to see you. But like I said, to have this platform for people that are just starting out or branching out into something new, and to be able to watch them, their evolution is my aspiration. So like I told you, one day hopefully we're in a bigger space, and you can come through and be like, "Hey Mac, have you on again? What's been going on since then?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm over here, this and the other. I went back to Japan and I met the dude again." I don't know. You never know.
Nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I love that about seeing even like raw talent, and the evolution. And we're here to once again, like I say, encourage, inspire, and empower those people, because I believe that sometimes you just need that inspiration. You need that little push of like, I like what you're doing. I see with the passion. I also see the the potential. And when I see that, I root for everybody to win. This is what we're here for. But I want to be able to see that growth and the evolution as we're talking about. You know what I mean? So this is why we have all this going on. So once again, I'm glad you're here. One of the things I want to ask real quick, because you mentioned there's, I'm sorry for lack of a better term, dangers in what you do with rope bondage. Is there what are maybe like the most common, I would say, I don't know, forgive my wording, but also is there anything that you've ran into?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So
and how it is that you got out of it, or just the end game in that. Was everything okay? You know what I mean?
Well, we can dive right into that.
Okay.
So, start with another story.
Yeah.
So, one thing about getting lemons, right?
Yes.
You can turn lemons into lemonade.
You can.
Right? You're taking something sour, you turn it into something sweet.
Yes.
But also, you get seeds.
Oh, okay.
Plant those seeds, you get more lemons later on.
Okay.
So, one of those seeds I got a long time ago, high school, I was a lifeguard.
Okay.
Right? And the guy I trained under, he's a pro surfer, really cool guy, Jason Gardy, if you're out there.
There we go.
Remember me?
Jason. Remember?
Yeah.
No?
Anyway, he may see this, he might not, but
Okay, yeah.
he was an awesome dude to learn under.
Yeah.
One of his kind of catchphrases, if you would, is the best lifeguards never get wet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because his whole thing was be attentive. You know, if you're sitting in the chair, you're constantly scanning. You're not getting distracted by this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
You know, it's a community pool. You're in high school. There's stuff to look at.
Yeah.
No, do your job.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I never got wet.
Gotcha.
For the 3 years I was a lifeguard.
Yeah.
You know, besides jumping in and having fun, I
Right.
never had to go in and physically get to someone
Because you're watching.
because he instilled in me, be diligent.
Yes.
You're here to do a job. Until you step down from that chair, you're doing that job and nothing else.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I think in kind of formative years in high school, as you're working, developing your work ethic,
Yeah.
those habits continue on to your professional life,
Yep.
and that continued on into my rope bondage career.
Nice. All right.
So one of those things that I have a bit of a reputation of is I never shut up
Okay.
during a shoot.
All right.
Someone I've never met before.
If you've ever shot
Hmm.
with Mac and he's was tied you,
Right.
I mean, you could attest to this. I don't know. Like I said, I've only met him once, and we shook hands. He said what he said, and I was like, great. And we got to work, but we never really interacted during that shoot.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were in our zone. I feel like we were both in our zone. It was dope. But I didn't get to hear you because there was a lot going on too. So.
Yeah, the photographers battling over the flash remote.
You
Like
know,
there was 30 people running
Yeah,
around
and
changing
I
outfits.
was like, I think I brought my own flash, and I was like, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I kind of like stay in my lane, especially in somewhere new. So
That was hectic, but man, we got some good content out of that day.
yeah, it was
So
a
good
great
times,
shoot.
good times.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
So you don't shut up.
so I don't shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine me. I'm kind of a bigger guy, a little intimidating to some people. I tend to look them in the eye and stare at them. It's an old habit, but
Yeah.
it makes people uncomfortable
Yeah.
sometimes. And
I'm
being
not
more.
uncomfortable, Mike. You can stare
Really?
into my eyes. I think it's the beard. I think
Yeah, it might be the beard.
It could be the beard.
Could be the beard.
Matt, come on. You need to catch up, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe during the
Let's go.
winter. Maybe during the winter, because this summer, some people are like, this doesn't help the heat. I'm like, I don't care about my face. It's fine. Yeah, so.
Anyway, getting back to it is like, okay, so me being able to interact publicly,
Yeah.
be a little more outgoing is kind of a learned skill.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest of 7 kids,
Oh, I'll do you,
But
baby.
they're-
I'm
but
a
they're-
baby.
yeah,
Same
right.
here. Yeah, same here.
but they're old enough to where I kind of grew up alone, and my
Yeah.
mom she was already kind of burnt out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm, babysitting myself, doing my own thing.
I can relate.
So the social skills.
I
were
love
a
my
little-
sisters.
little
They
stunted.
help.
Oh yeah, I love all my sisters. The ones that talk to me. Anyway, throw some
You're
shade.
watching this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they outed me to my parents a couple years ago. By the way,
That's what it is.
hey, that's what I'm doing. It's fine. It was a shock for a little while. They're okay now.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
where was I? Yeah, there we go. So learn skill, being able to communicate with people. Right. So a couple years ago in the military,
Yeah.
I was a platform instructor. So I got to be up on a podium or on the dais, speaking to
Yep.
somewhere's upwards of 1,000 people. Got to keep their attention. So got to learn to do that. Audience snapping, getting questions,
Yeah.
keeping them engaged.
Yep.
So that was overcoming that particular lemon was the fear of public speaking, the fear of
Yeah.
interacting, because I need people to trust me that I know what I'm doing.
Yes, which is crazy because I think it's like the most like feared thing like in the world.
Right.
Like everybody fears public speaking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. The military helped me too. I think I just got up there and was like, oh, okay, now we talk to everybody. And you don't realize it. I mean that because it's like, hey, you have to do that that's part of your job. So you get up there and it's like a whole platoon or a whole battalion, and you're just up there talking, and you don't realize that it was all these people that you just spoke to, and they're just like following exactly you, and trusting you. You know?
Right, right.
So, yeah.
So that translates again. That was another seed got planted. Move on into rope. I am meeting set name model. Compared to me, big ass guy, she little petite thing, and she is now approaching me with a desire to be immobilized and pictures taken of them.
Gotcha.
So there's got to be a certain amount of trust and confidence in each other meeting as a stranger. Just today, I was chatting with someone, another photographer referred her to me. She wants to do a shoot, but she also wants to learn.
Okay.
And all these things. And my first questions are always, okay, what do you want to learn and why? Why do you want to learn it now? Who are you going to be tying with? And they're like, well, why are you asking me all these personal questions? It's important because you're a stranger to me. I'm going to instill in you a skill. I don't want you to hurt yourself because then I feel somehow tangentially responsible.
Yeah, definitely.
So in a shoot, I'm always checking. I'm always asking, how you feeling? Any pinches, something snagging, something different. I can do the same tie 1,000 times on 1,000 different people. Somebody's different. Someone doesn't want to speak up because they're afraid they're gonna ruin the vibe. No, not with me. I have one rule. Every time I tie, every time that there's a photo shoot going, you're gonna be focused. No matter how tough you are, strong, independent woman. All right, rock on. You're not allowed to be tough with me. If it doesn't feel right, we'll fix it.
Exactly right.
I carry safety cutters. I can get it off you immediately. I can retie it. You can do whatever. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about the look. You just need to be comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, too, with what I do, with every other, subject matter as far as what I shoot, but especially boudoir because it's a very vulnerable place.
Intimate.
Exactly, and sometimes it's people you don't know at all, and they're coming here or wherever it might be, and they're taking their clothes off for you, for lack of a better term, right? And you're there and you're shooting, and for some reason they're super comfortable. They trust you. I don't want to say for some reason, obviously there's many reasons, but they trust the stranger, and I think it's because, once again, for me, I always say, I let the work speak for itself. So they can trust that and be like, hey, I'm gonna go shoot with Frank or tie with Matt, because I trust, or I heard as well how their experience has been with them. And so I just do my thing. Makes it easier, obviously. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a very vulnerable place to be in, whether it's being semi-nude, or especially if you've never done that, if you've never tied before, it's a very vulnerable place. And for someone to come to you and be like, hey, do your thing, you're like, okay, and I understand that. I understand why you feel the responsibility. It's immense.
Absolutely.
Because the other factor is, once again, the dangers in it. So it's dope. It's dope. I like it.
Well, the end result obviously is always pretty to look at, and that's unfortunately the only thing that's ever recorded is the visual aspect of it. One of my favorite things about rope bondage in particular as a profession is when you get those first timers. Not necessarily because it's they don't know what they're doing, or I can do whatever and get away with, which is super toxic and it's out there. Some drama occurs because people target newbies.
Gotcha.
But I love when someone comes to me, they've been married 15, 20 years, they want to surprise their significant other, and they're coming in and they're literally like their teeth are shattering because they're so nervous and they're so scared.
Gotcha.
What if I don't look right? What if I'm not pretty? Come on, I got this. You're with me. We're gonna make this work. Lady came in. This is some years ago. Same thing. She's very attractive, but she's got her hair done up. She showed up completely done to the nines. Like, okay, she's ready to play. But she comes in, and at the time she was super nervous. Like, she's there. I'm in the middle of tying someone else, but I already keyed off it and identified like, hey, all right, you're tied, you're good, she's safe. Photographer, do your thing. I'll be right back. So her shoot hadn't even, it's 30 minutes away, and she showed up a little early, do printing, whatever she got to do, and pour her a glass of champagne. Like, hey, do you drink? Would you like a cup? She holds that food up, and it's literally ticking against my teeth.
Man.
Like, just sat down. And without any pretense, introduce myself, explain what's going to happen, ask her what is she worried about. Not a single thing she came up with was her safety. It was just, how am I going to look? How is my husband going to take this? Is he going to be angry that another man touched me? you know, everything's out in the open.
Yeah.
So the entire thing is being photographed. I'm not going to touch you in any way you don't want to be touched.
Right.
I'm not going to touch you inappropriately to where it would be, you know, an issue.
Yes.
We are here for the aesthetics, and that's what you want to present to your husband. So just, you know, let me guide you.
Yeah,
Come on.
I got this.
You know, just relax. And 2 hours later, as she's leaving the studio, rock steady, biggest smile you've ever seen. Just like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's, you know, what people walk away with, you know, going into it, they're just like, and I've been there. Not me myself, but I haven't been tied up. I don't think that's my thing. But you never know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hey, no,
that might be the send-off.
that might be it. But yeah, when people come in, they've been a little nervous, like you said, man, and then just how empowered at times they come. It's just like, and they walk on. I'm like, there she goes, and she's like, I can't wait for the next time. And I'm like, you know how to find me, you know, which is it's dope. It's a dope experience. It's a dope feeling to have just send people away.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you walked in and just very vulnerable and walked out super human.
Yes.
You know?
And I wish there was a way to project that out more into the world.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I've seen your work.
Thank
Fantastic work.
I appreciate that.
I work with some amazing photographers, and they only put out the best.
Yeah.
You know, they take 300 photos, they edit 6, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Nobody sees that aftermath, that empowerment, that change between beginning of the shoot and after.
It can be tough. It can be tough to because at least for me, I have visions, you know, for what I do, and when I see one specific person, I was like, hey, this is how I see you, and this is how I present you, and so you can see yourself, that empowerment, right? But it can be tough to bring the vision to life. That's the hardest part. I feel is just an artist in general. You know what I mean? But as hard as it can be, it's the most rewarding when you really see it, and when people, like you said, walk out with this empowerment, this confidence, and they walk out, they're like, "Yup, I'm a bad whatever it is."
Oh yeah,
insert in there. You know what I mean? And that's like the best compliment to me because I helped with that. I don't want to say I did that, but it's like I helped because I knew it was in you. And you said when you showed up, that in itself is courage because not a lot of people do that or even think about it. They might think about it, but they don't go through with it.
That's what deposits are for.
There it is. Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But definitely, it's always great to see people in that light and to have just then later on show them, and they're like, wow, you made me look, and it's like, no, you look like that. It's just we put you in a different light, maybe tied you up, and a little bit of an angle here and there, but it's you, and they're just like, I can't believe it. I'm like, oh, believe it because it is. And like I said, they walk around with this confidence now, like you said, the smile on their face, and they're just ready to go out there and just, hey, we're gonna show everybody now, not just my husband or whoever. Right? No, that's fun times. We're gonna real quick get into the business.
Oh, okay.
Because we discussed that. What is it that you do?
So on the business sides of things, like I said, in the military as a platform instructor.
Yes.
So I bill myself as a bit of an educator. So if people want to learn rope, be it for their own use, just they're curious about it. I've done interviews with psychologists, things about those natures, about the aspects of it. What are people attracted to and why? Being kind of a central hub to so many people's first time experience. I've kind of cataloged it a little bit and been able to share that with people. People contact me usually through social media, and they're like, I love your work. How do I learn how to do this? They live in DC. Okay. It's like, okay, I'm not going to tell you who to learn from, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you how to vet someone.
Gotcha.
This is the questions you should ask. All those kind of things.
Okay.
And here's a hot tip for you if you ever go into an interview.
Hot tip.
Hot tip.
Boom.
If anybody's interested in you, right, be it at a bar or you're trying to get hired, and they give you all the positives about it. Okay, these are all the things we're excited about. This is what you can do for the company. Cool. If you really want to hook them and you really want to get their attention, like, hey, that's all great. I'm happy to be a part of the team. I'm excited to get this opportunity. What are your reservations to hire me? What would cause you to hesitate?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And they think about it. Nobody's ever asked me that before. Because nobody wants to hear that answer.
Right.
I don't like your face.
Yeah.
Well, I'll work on it. Do what you can.
I was born with this one.
Yeah, my mother did too. So you kind of catch them off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell them, okay, if you're going to go tie with someone you've never met before, okay, you got to ask them a couple questions. A, who have you tied with before? Can I speak to them?
Yeah.
All right. What are your limitations?
Okay. Yeah.
Because if they're not willing to express what their limitations are, they're like, no, I'm the biggest thing out here.
Yeah. Exactly. And
Go ahead and pass. You find out, their skills aren't as strong as you think, or bad things happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
No.
Yeah.
We get to knock today.
We get to that. It's for luck. But then the third thing is, okay, you've explained who you've tied with, right? You've explained your limitations. Now, when have you failed, and what did you do to make sure that never happens again, or to fix it on the spot?
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
I love that. Yeah, because it's something that I try to. Whenever I go into anything, it's more like, give me the bad news. I want the bad news. I want all the ugly stuff, because I want to know what went wrong. Because the right stuff is there. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll make it better. Whatever. But I'm like, where did someone fail? Where did someone fuck up? And I'm like, okay, just to ensure that I don't make that mistake.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, cool, got it. What to watch out for? Perfect. Moving on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So that's what I tell them. A lot of times they want to learn from me because they see the work. They're like, okay, this is what we want to emulate. This is what we want. I tell them, well, this is not a package deal where I just hand it to you and voila, you do it. It takes time.
Yep.
It's a skill set that you build over time. It is practice, and it's also a style thing. Everyone ties a little different.
Got it.
There are certain rules that you follow, but it's not as formulaic as people think it is. Now, if you go to Japan and you pull out some beautiful nylon rope like this, you get hissed at. No, don't do that, because they're all about the traditional styles, the jute or the hemp.
Yep. Okay.
The same way they write their kanjis, their language out. So if you have a big piece of calligraphy, not only do you have to get the shape right, you have to draw it in the correct order. So you can't start at the top and work down. You've got to build. There's a language within a language there.
Right. Yeah.
There's another language within the rope. The type you use, the color you use, the shape. A lot of the things that developed way back in the feudal era of Japan is they would tie up prisoners.
Okay.
Certain prisoners are nobility, others are just the peasants, the serfs, what have you. Well, if you're not all dressed up, nobody knows the difference, especially if you're not in your home province. So the different patterns will identify where you are in society.
Wow.
What crime
committed.
What crime you committed, and what's about to happen to you.
There you go.
So and it's a different signal. Right?
No, I like it. Wow.
So it's a different language.
Identify people.
So that's kind of one of those things where there are gatekeepers and purists out there who only tie a certain way, and it's got to be this way.
Yeah.
And then there's people like me. I am considered, what do they call it? I am a Western fusion Shibari artist.
Yeah.
So a little bit of like the old school John Willie, damsel tied to the tracks, mixed with the Japanese flair.
Got it. Yeah.
So I use nylon rope because it's extremely strong. It's got the beautiful coloring, and everything, but it's very slippery.
Okay.
So it doesn't bite onto itself very well.
Gotcha.
So I have to learn an entirely different technique if I'm doing a real tight knot or if I'm suspending someone.
Oh yeah, suspension part.
Yeah, the suspension is that's that peak of the mountain. Whereas someone who ties with jute or hemp uses totally different techniques because that's what works for them, for their rope language. That's one of those things where the more experience I get, the more I learn, and it just broadens my scope. Some things don't necessarily work for me. I don't have that finger dexterity. I don't have tiny hands.
Right.
I can't do some of that.
I have to.
Other things work.
I make these work.
I got mitts, man.
Yeah, I have. What is the opposite of mitts? Mittens. There you go. No. Anyways, no. Well, good, man. I appreciate the history of it. You know what I mean? I did not know that.
Interesting stuff.
I did not know that. Matt, did you know that?
No.
No.
Did you know that in every Jackie Chan movie you've ever seen him where he takes a shirt, wraps around somebody's fist as they're punching? That's the same martial art that started this.
Okay.
That started rope bondage back in the Orient, both in China, Japan, Korea, Taiwan. Taiwan didn't exist back then, but you know what I'm saying. But there's it's a martial art involving a pre-tied hank of rope, usually worn around the waist with a knot, and it captures someone and takes them to the ground without hurting them and binds them up really fast.
Yeah,
It's Hojo Jutsu. It's kind of hard to pronounce, but anyway. Yeah, you can look it up on YouTube, and you see these guys, usually in full gi, going at each other full speed, and they pull out a little 6-foot length rope, and boom, they're gift wrapped on the ground. Boom. Crazy, that fast.
Thanks, Jackie Chan.
Yeah. That's where it came from. From movies.
I knew it. No, you're like, yes.
He's in some kinky stuff.
He probably is. But it is Jackie Chan. I like Jackie Chan. I think Jackie Chan is like not Forrest Gump, but Tom Hanks. No, you can't not like Jackie Chan.
I really like Jackie Chan.
Right? Do you like Jackie Chan, Matt? No.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever. Matt is a man of, not too many words.
Few words, but
few. Yes. He will later express himself on YouTube. I can tell you that much. Then you'll see the words, and you'll. I'm like, fuck, crap. Anyhow, well, good stuff as far as that goes. You mentioned people reaching out to you in your social media. What's mostly you are on Instagram, because that's where obviously how I found
Yeah, I'm not so into the TikTok and all the short video stuff.
Wow.
I know I'm behind the curve on that, but the video aspect of it, you got to be charming. Still working on that.
Okay.
But Instagram, Very Bad Boy Scout, all one word. I do personal classes like one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Typically, usually have my girlfriend with me or another trusted person I've worked with before to be the demonstrator.
Got it. Girlfriend is
Autumn.
Autumn, say hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can hear that. No, good. And real quick, just to kind of like jump on that part. Autumn does.
So Autumn is a rogue taxidermist.
Boom.
So she is a ethical vegan.
Okay.
Which means she is an ethical taxidermist.
Oh.
So she won't take any trophy animal, nothing hunted, nothing, killed by anything other than natural means.
Okay, I like it.
So usually means roadkill or a pet died of old age, that kind of thing. And then she makes crazy art out of it.
I like it.
So we actually brought that piece over there. That's a Shibari rat.
We're
so like Shibari rat.
Shibari rat. I like it. When I reached out to you about this, you were kind of like, I don't know my story, all my stuff. I don't know what to say. Sorry, I didn't make it sound like that.
That's exactly what I sound like.
In my head, that's what you said. No, I'm just kidding.
That's my text voice.
That's your text voice.
That's the voiceover as I'm typing.
Yeah. It's your alter ego. Yeah. But I'm glad you came, and within that, I know you mentioned Autumn. So we spoke to Autumn. Mm-hmm. I did reach out and said she put on her story some X-Men nerd shit. I'm gonna say that because I'm an X-Men nerd. And I hope you don't take offense to that, because to me it's a big compliment.
I worry properly.
But we're gonna get to our own shoot when it comes to that. But I also asked if we could have her on, so she's up for it. Today we're a little pressed for time when it comes to that. I don't think we've done episodes back to back ish, but we didn't schedule that. So we will have Autumn on, and we'll hear her story, because you said she has a.
Oh, she's got amazing stories.
There it is. So, no pressure.
No pressure, babe.
Yeah. But yeah, so we look forward to that. And by we, I mean me and my alter egos and anybody else living inside my head. No, I'm kidding. I'm half kidding. But pleasure having you. Thanks for the lesson, for your time, for your energy, for being here, making the trek, like I said, because I know you said it was a drive. So, Matt, do we have a question for Mac?
Yeah. We turn the cameras off and time up.
Oh, people may want to pay for
What you got, Matt?
What is your ideal date night, and which of the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would you want to spend that ideal date night with?
Boom.
Well, the second half changes the first half drastically.
There it is. Yeah, it does. It does for me.
Man, what a thinker.
I know we're having pizza today, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, Raphael is definitely he's the rebel of the group. He's the loner, right? One that breaks away all the time.
He's a little angry.
A little angry.
Yeah.
I'd say like jiu-jitsu and french fries is the perfect date to have with Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Get a chance to learn something, possibly get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Enjoy some french fries.
You got a sai you can borrow?
Yeah, right? Something around that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to make it simple. Michelangelo and we're having fucking pepperoni pizza.
Wait. Does April O'Neil count as part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Is she a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
She's a member of the cast.
She's on the team.
we're going to include her, and that's for a different date.
Sorry, babe. Redheads.
Hey, you know, we got
All
April
right.
here too.
Maybe that's a caveat. Discussion we'll have later.
It also means Casey's in the mix then.
Oh,
And Splinter.
with the mask.
Ooh, with the mask
Yeah.
and cricket bat.
Hey, some.
Sounds like gonna be a party.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do a purge.
And you bring the rat. I'm kidding.
Oh, Splinter.
You can time up. He might be. Because
He probably knows more than I do.
right. Good. Man, it's a whole world here. Going on. Well, hey, fun times. Well, Mac, thank you again for your time, your energy, for your story. It's a
Absolutely.
pleasure having you. Keep doing your thing, and today we toast to you and everything you do.
Cheers.
The next time. It's a hot day.
It's a great one.
How'd it go? It was good?
Yeah, it was good
Homemade.
On a hot day, so.
That would be dope. No.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, good.
I know we were a bit on a time crunch. I wouldn't have told so many damn stories, but then
No,
again, that's
we're
exactly
not.
what we're doing.
We weren't like on a time crunch, but
Trying to keep episodes
I
at a certain
couldn't
time.
do two back to back like that. One, I'm gonna be honest, because this camera overheats. It's an old one, and then I was like, and when he suggested, I was like, can we do it? But then I was like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
But now we get a chance to really sit down with you, do more stuff, and whatnot. So yeah, fun times.
And I gotta get back at him for the redhead comment.
Ah.